Hey everyone, and welcome back to Timeless. Today we have the spicy tech. I saw another player named Americanized running a similar list to this on ladder, and I had to reconstruct it in my own way. So you might look at this and wonder what the heck is going on. If we take out a couple of cards, this looks just like a normal Abzan mid-range creature deck. We got a bunch of creatures that are reasonable on curve, and we got Once Upon a Time to tie the room together, of course. And then we have my favorite card, Chthonian Nightmare. And this is a Luris deck. This is something that you could see me putting together on the channel. This is pretty similar to like that Amalia deck that we had, just without the Amalia. We have some notorious bad cards like Voice of Resurgence and one of them, Dina, in here for some dang reason, but Juggernaut, Peddler, Bowmasters, Deathrite Shaman, Ocelot Pride, Guide of Souls, these are just some of the best cards that you can put into a Luris deck right now, so it makes sense that we all have them together. A card that's really impressed me that I haven't found a home for yet is Marionette Apprentice. This card is crazy if you can actually sacrifice things multiple times per turn. It brings sack fodder with it, and it helps you close out games really, really fast. And I've been looking for a home for it, and I think I found it. Chthonian Nightmare is, of course, one way to loop her, but you have to spend 2 mana every single time that you activate this Nightmare. Yeah, you can keep buying things back forever and ever, but that is pretty slow for Timeless. Until I saw another player on ladder running Birthing Ritual in a Luris deck. Their deck was a bit different. I think they were playing both Goyfs, both the Nether Goyf and the Tarmogoyf, and they were much more on the beatdown. But I saw Marionette Apprentice hit the battlefield, and I'm like, no, 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 no. We need to build the Marionette Apprentice Birthing Ritual deck right now. I jammed a bunch of games with this list. It's so much fun. I love it. It's super fun. Generally, the way that this deck goes is you just gum up the board with your stupid Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, Bowmasters style creatures. You slam a Birthing Ritual, and then you just start going through your deck. So many of your different creatures can make tokens when they enter the battlefield. Bowmasters makes a token, Marionette Apprentice makes a token when it comes in. This usually makes a token every turn, and this leaves a token behind. You will just slowly grow your board state, and every time you grow your board state, you're adding either another Guide of Souls or another Marionette Apprentice or another Ocelot Pride onto the board, which makes your board state grow even faster the next turn, and then you just gum up the board and slowly, slowly grind down your opponent. We, of course, have some token interaction here. 4 cards. Maybe we should have more interaction in this deck, but I'm enjoying having the creature suite with a bunch of creatures to make sure that we can't miss on Birthing Ritual and that we have a density of threats. We also have Peddler for a little bit more interaction. This is also a card I'm very high on that hasn't necessarily had a home in Timeless. I think we had it in the Amalia deck, but that's like the only deck I think I played with this card. This is a sweet card in Timeless. 2 mana, 2/2, take your opponent's best card is always going to be appreciated. I do not care if they have a Juggernaut. By the time our opponent is spending 4 mana on a Juggernaut, we probably have like 4 Guide of Souls and 3 Ocelot Pride in play, and we're just looping things every turn and gaining a bajillion life and draining them out. This is super fun. As for the other random includes, Voice leaves behind a really big token when it dies. This card is a notorious bad card. I'm going to get made fun of for including it in the deck, but this is the one time you could probably excuse playing this card in Timeless, and I've made some 10/10 tokens that the Fury decks and Energy decks like actually can't deal with unless they happen to be playing Path to Exile. And then one Dina is a way to quickly turn your life gain triggers into draining your opponent at late in the game. That's why we have 1 copy of it just chilling in the deck. Other than that, 20 land mana base with 3 Once Upon a Time. Standard stuff for a Luris deck. We also got 4 Deathrite Shamans for a little bit more mana acceleration, so we have more than 20 mana sources effectively. We have a 1 Haywire Mite as well. This is something we can just find off the Birthing Rituals. It's a good hate bear. It's a card that hits play on curve. It gains its life when it dies. It stalls on the board. Blah, blah, blah. Sideboard. Okay. So we have the normal Deathwing Silent Saucies versus unfair decks. We've got Pithing Needles, we've got Unlicensed Hearse. We have seen this before. If you've seen me play any sort of Luris deck, these are the cards we always bring in. But we got the new tech. I've stolen this from some other Mardu Energy players. I've seen some people sideboard this in. So against creature decks, it's a one-sided board wipe. Obviously, it's a baby board wipe, but what it does kill is Ocelot Prides, Ragavans, little cat tokens that Johnny makes, Orcish Bowmasters. It kills enough that it can slow the game down for our deck to gum up the board and pull ahead. And then I also have 1 Meathook Massacre. I think maybe we might need more sideboard cards for really aggressive creature decks, but then we're cutting unfair cards. Like, then we'd have to like cut Thoughtseize or Pithing Needle, and I'm like, I really want even less cards for those unfair matchups. but this deck is sweet. Like I've really been trying to find a home for Marionette Apprentice because I love sacrifice decks myself. Like I play red black sack in a couple different formats at this point, and all the good sack outlets on Arena are either like really restrictive or really low payoff, or they cost 3 mana. And it was tough to find a home for Marionette Apprentice because you don't want to spend 3 mana on like a Woe Strider or some other like really mediocre card in Timeless. Um, but here we are. I also had ideas to maybe try to put red into this deck so that we can play Goblin Bombardment, Goblin Bombardment, and a Johnny. Those are 2 cards that slot like right into the deck, but we're already like very firmly in 3 colors. We need the green for the Birthing Rituals. We need the white for the Guide of Souls, and we need the black for the Marionette Apprentice. I don't think we can make this a straight 4-color deck, but it's an idea in my head to try to play a Johnny and Goblin Bombardment with Marionette Apprentice and also Birthing Ritual, and like it's not working. Birthing Ritual is the card that really makes it click. You will see once we're in the games, when we get Birthing Ritual on the board, our board state just grows from there, and then eventually we snowball and take over the game. This deck just works on a different axis because yeah, occasionally you can get a nut draw with Guide of Souls and you can go on the beat down, but really you're just trying to flood the board and not win right away. You're just gonna flood the board, slam your ritual, and then win eventually, which is so interesting to me. All right, that's enough yammering. Let's get to the gameplay. All right, we are going to be on the play against Tagazake. We have a very awkward hand with just a basic forest. I think we send it back. That's tough that we drew only a basic and only 1 mana source. This, I guess, will have to make it work. I don't want to go all the way down to 5. Not right away. We are only playing 20 lands, but we do have Once Upon a Time and Deathrite Shamans as additional mana sources, and our curve very much stops it too, so I think that's fine. We're going to put back an extra Bowmasters here, and we're going to Surveil rather than play an Ocelot Pride. I value hitting that second land drop. Also, today's funny profile picture is Jim Joker visiting us from Balatro, because the real Joker is me. I've been forgetting the little profile pictures. Alright, yep. You can go ahead and take a card. Alright, so what do we want here? We want, I was going to say black, white, or green, right? But we only have a black-white Surveil. We're playing 2 Surveils in this deck, not 3. Just because it is a very low curve deck. Okay, sweet. That's a land drop right there. So do we want to jam Birthing Ritual while it's safe from discard? Our opponent just showing us like basic swamp Thoughtseize means they're probably a mono black deck. And getting Birthing Ritual on the battlefield is actually huge because then it's pretty much immune to their removal. They can only like really Thoughtseize it from our hand, right? So I think we're gonna go ahead and do that. It's not gonna do anything right now, but hopefully mono black, it has a slow draw. They don't go Dark Ritual Necro next turn and then just kill us. And we can just lean on the slow aspect of our deck. Alright, yep, IOK, they probably take Marionette. Makes sense. And then, ooh, a Guide of Souls. This card's really valuable, so I think I'm actually going to hold it, because I think whatever I play is going to eat a Fatal Push here. And even if it doesn't, I probably want to sacrifice it to the Birthing Ritual. Yeah, our opponent's just going to trade 1 for 1 on removal, but eventually they will hopefully run out of threats, or they will tap out for like a 1-ring. Okay, cool. We get to play 2 things this turn. So let's go ahead and play the Pride and the Deathrite Shaman, I'm thinking. But we could still hold Guide of Souls, because I'm pretty sure like my opponent still has more removal, and they're going to be very happy to use it. And I don't want to sacrifice my Guide of Souls to the Ritual. Guide of Souls is one of the best cards in this deck. As it usually is in the creature decks I build. The card's so good. That Bowmasters, there goes Kitty Cat. Alright, so we do get to use the Ritual. Oh, no we don't. Alright. Thorin of House Markov, you got it.
Famine nips at our heels.
Ooh, he gets a flip sword. Very nice.
No neck shall be spared from my hunt. A meal worthy of
Oof.
my
All right, we've had a really awkward draw with the mana, unfortunately, so we're gonna run out of Guide of Souls. Maybe we can hit something like a Bowmaster here. All right, so this is our first opportunity to use Birthing Ritual. Usually what I do is I look for something that makes a token when we have a small board state like this, just because we need to get the board wide so that we can start taking advantage of Birthing Ritual. Like I said before, our deck is built around this Apprentice. Let's get it into play. Unfortunately, our opponent does have their thing kind of going on right now.
finally a
Gain
satisfying
control. I've never seen someone -6 the Sorin. I have to read it. Gain control, target creature becomes a vampire. Put up. Oh. Okay, so they just get to steal something permanently. That's kind of a problem. All right. Good news is we can play our Guide of Souls and we drew our extra mana. Bad news is that that sword might flip. Or it might not flip, sorry. It might -6 me, which would be very unfortunate. Cool. So we have a Bowmasters. Bowmasters is something that we can throw into play. Wow, we have a lot of choices here. Bowmasters, Voice, Deathray Shaman, Ocelot, Juggernaut Peddler. I think what we need to do is we need to keep their Sorin from killing me. So I think we're actually going to sack my best card, Guide of Souls. We can buy it back with Luris in a turn or two. And we're just going to shoot Sorin with Bowmasters. Bowmasters also taxes a future opponent draw, like the One Ring. We could also Juggernaut Peddler their hand. If I didn't have the Bowmasters here, I would Peddler them because I'm pretty sure they would have a card like the One Ring in hand. This Sorin is scary, though. They could steal, like, my Apprentice forever. Which I guess isn't the end of the world, but I'd like to push that back a turn or two if possible. I always minus Sorin for removal as well. Yeah.
kneel before your betters.
Alright. Okay, so we can just put Luris into our hand. So here off of Birthing Ritual, unfortunately, we can only get a 1-drop using one of these little boys, but I think that's fine. Yep, there's a Guide of Souls, my favorite card, right? Let's go sacrifice the army so that when we hit a Bowmasters, we get a new creature. I think this is the 3rd card that I've called my favorite card today. I mean, this is a cool deck. We do have all the favorites in it. Yeah, here comes a ring, right? One could assume. A grief. Okay, goodbye, Luris. Hardly knew ye. Ouch, my board.
No mercy for the weak.
Ooh, Haywire Might. Okay. Well, we'll have to figure that out. So let's go look at our deck again. We can get Dino, we can peddle them. I think peddling them might be pretty good, just in case they do have a banger as their last card. But if they had a banger as their last card, they would have played it already, right? So maybe what we do is we take the Bowmaster, we shoot their Bowmaster, we just get another token for later. And then we'll have 3 energy so we can start flying things. Sorin has really impressed me this game, by the way. I've never seen a Sorin do so well, but that's because my deck is so slow and plays so many little creatures that he can just shoot. See, now he just shoots my guide.
Die.
Good timing on the grief, too. If that didn't happen, then I could have probably pulled ahead with the Luris. Oh, wow, we whiffed. That's the first time I've whiffed with my deck. There's such a density of creatures here that it's hard to miss in the top 7. I've definitely had situations where I've only had like 0 drop tokens in play and I hit only 2 drops. But I've never hard whiffed like that. We're at 20, we can take damage. This is going to be a slow game. Though I might scoop eventually. Something's got to happen soon. A Chthonian Nightmare would be a great draw, by the way. Of course, we play both engines so that we can take advantage of both. Okay, another ritual. That's pretty good. So we can now pod up. We're potting, we're potting. We're potting up the chain. We're going to start with this 1-1, and we're going to pod up the chain. Alright, you become an Ocelot Pride. Ocelot Pride becomes a 2-drop. Yeah, Ocelot Pride becomes a Bowmasters. We shoot their Bowmasters. And then next turn, we can keep potting. Hopefully this is like demonstrating the deck really well. We started on the back foot, unfortunately, and our opponent had so many answers. But you could imagine if our opponent didn't start the game off with, you know, discard, discard, push, 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 and flip a Sora and remove some stuff, like we would be absolutely swarming the board right now. Alright, hopefully no more removal. Okay, big Shieldred. Okay, okay, we get to do pod things. Ooh, we get to peddle them a Juggernaut too, but we're kind of dying, so we do need to, you know, have a little bit of urgency here. Would you like a Juggernaut? Uh, you can have this stupid thing, right? All my removals exile removal, they can have that. The card doesn't do anything. Alright, let's go to our end step here. Potting? Okay. We're going to sack the Peddler here, and we can get a Marionette or we can get a Voice. Do I just want a big, stupid creature? If I want a big, stupid creature to block their stuff, we can get a Voice, which I think I do. I think I'm interested in big, stupid right now. Okay, and then we can get a life gain creature here, or we can get the Marionette, or we could just get another Voice. How much do we love the big stupids here? Because we're sacrificing this. Do we want life? Do we want a big stupid? Or do we want to drain our opponent? We can drain our opponent later. I'm concerned about dying right now, and a big stupid is a way to not die. Yeah, I like a big stupid right now. Oh, our Soren can -6. I kind of forgot about that. Maybe they take my big stupid. That would be a little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. They take my voice. Okay.
To my side, thrall!
Maybe I should have taken Guide of Souls. It's tough. We've been on the back foot all game, but our deck has somehow kept us in it. Opponent's just gonna draw a card. Just chilling. Just chilling and drawing. We get a ping. That's cool. Goodbye, Soren.
You're lucky I'm leaving.
Fortunately, our big stupid is getting a little small. We don't want to double block Shieldred because they could just not dead it. Ugh. Not a good situation to be in. If we block with our elemental here, it's gonna die. I think we take 5. Oh, that's so terrible. I think we're 99% to lose here, but hey, let's play one more turn. We go to 2. Hopefully we can gain some life with some Guide of Souls, maybe? I'd like to peddle you something, please. Okay. Sure, man. Alright. Let's do Birthing Ritual one more time. Maybe we can find Guide of Souls and go off. We found Dina. Alright, well, Dina has been found, I guess. Dina. And then we find nothing. Okay, we'll scoop it up. Wow, 2 whiffs in a row? I played like 10 games with this because this deck is so much fun, but it's a little unrefined. And yeah, I hadn't whiffed yet. So against Mono Black Gaming, what do we want? I like this because they're probably playing One Ring or Necro. With Shieldred, they're probably playing One Ring. I like these exile rules. I think maybe we can needle the One Ring. That would be pretty cool. Don't we want? We don't want the big stupid against black removal, unfortunately. He can go. It makes me very sad to announce it, but Voice of Resurgence sucks. We might want some Thought Seizes, though they're more of a mid-range deck, and I don't necessarily want to be Thought Seizing in mid-range decks. We could bring in the one Meat Hook Massacre, because it's fun stuff. Just help us gain in drain just a little bit faster, a little bit better. And then what comes out? We would just need one more card, maybe a Nightmare. Alright, cool. So we just have a Guide of Souls draw. We don't have our busted hand, or our busted birthing ritual, but we do have a Guide of Souls into Bowmasters with a removal spell. I'm happy to keep this. Go ahead and attack. We have double Bowmasters, which is awesome. I'll go ahead and flash this in on end step. If they have a Bowmasters, we'll flash in, or not flash in, we'll Sorcery Speed our Bowmasters to kill theirs. Great, and then here, I think I'm still pretty interested in a Sorcery Speed Bowmasters for a bit of extra damage, perhaps. Let's go to combat with everything. Just in case they still do have the Bowmasters, we'll keep Guide of Souls back. We'll put the counter on here, because we're playing around Bowmasters, because they could always ping the Guide of Souls, then block it with the 1/1. We're going to put the counters on here, because again, that plays around a Bowmasters ping. They could of course have a Fatal Push to screw this up, but you can't play around everything at once. Hey, look at that, it's Bowmasters. But now, do we want to Static Prison the silly Bowmaster? I think the answer is no. I think that card can stay in play. So what we could do is we could actually Meat Hook for one if we decided that our Bowmaster and their Bowmaster could both go. Like maybe if they play another one, or if they kill this, ping this, whatever. We could do that. Let's go ahead and Surveil, get into black land here. Get some black-white. Okay, Boseiju, we do not need that right now. Okay, just another Surveil land. I think here we're just going to be happy to attack for 4. We could put our lures into our hand. We could take our time. Yeah, that seems pretty good to me. Let's go ahead and Surveil, just to be sure. This might influence our decision. Ooh, Guide of Souls. Nah, we can definitely take our time, wait for him to show up. And the party starts. We can hit our opponent for 4 if they don't have an objection. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe a little Meat Hook coming out. You know what, maybe I should have waited to put Lurrus into my hand until after combat. Maybe I definitely should have done that. Either way, we can Meat Hook on 1 now and clean up 2 Bowmasters. That's sweet. Oh, my graveyard. Hey, that's another kill for Meat Hook Massacre. Alright. Let's go ahead and X equals 1 here. Mana looks good. We want white mana after this. Cool. Actually, since I had a flying attacker and only a flying attacker, I should have went to combat attack first. Just -1 damage there. It's okay. It's a minor thing in the scheme of things. We still have a removal spell and a Lurrus in case a board wipe comes out, so we're totally chilling. Yep, One Ring, it's fine. We'll remove it. Our opponent does get a turn of protection, for what it's worth. Okay, goodbye, Luris. Actually, it might take Static Prison here. Oh, no, that would make no sense, because then I just replay it from my graveyard. I mean, hope they punt and do that. That would be funny. Would you like to take my removal spell, opponent? Either way, the ring is going away for them, so we're going to be ahead. I gain 1 life here. I'm pogging. Alright, ooh, a Juggernaut Peddler. Do we play that just to be a 2-2 that can attack and block? I think we can wait until next turn to do that. Might as well attempt to peddle them. Alright. The Profane has fallen. They take 1 damage off of Meathook. Meathook doing its job. Yep, and they're out of here. Alright, let's go to game 3. Let's see if we can get the same stuff going on. Do I want this extra Nightmare in? Because this is a matchup where we can just grind like crazy. Where would we make room, though? Get rid of the Dina, maybe. I love Peddler in this matchup. I love turning 1 rings into Juggernauts. It just makes me happy on the inside. Get rid of Dina. Alright. So let's get a good hand. Hopefully with our Busted Engine in it. We don't have our Busted Engine, but we got Ring Removal, Hand Hate, Mana Acceleration, and also just a busted card. Bowmasters. We got it all. Oh, and a Guide of Souls? It's Christmas. Alright, let's get Black-White here, because that actually casts all of our spells. Opponent is chilling. After thinking about killing our Deathrite Shaman, they decided not to. Alright, here, let's go ahead and play a Guide of Souls, and then I think we want to, do we want to peddle? Peddle on the Juggernaut right away, or do we want to flash in the Bowmasters on their end step? I'm pretty interested in peddling them a Juggernaut, because they could definitely have, like, Dark Ritual, One Ring, some nonsense in their hand. So, let's begin fetching. Let's just get our mana in play, because not all of these things are mana abilities. Fetching is not a mana ability. Deathrite Shaman's not a mana ability. These things can be interacted with, or they can be responded to. Make sure our mana's going through. It is. Let's go ahead and play a Guide of Souls, and then play Juggernaut Peddler. Alright, dear opponent, would you like a Juggernaut? Aha! A Dark Ritual hand. Don't you love it when you see it? Oh shit. They've multiple payoffs. Crap, man. I think we take Meathook here, and we let them deluge us. And that's just life. We get deluged, but they don't get a permanent Meathook in play. Meathook is, very strong against my deck. So I think this is the one that we're going to take. Really stacked hand for them. They have this. They also have something to recover the life gain. Yeah, it's bad. And that's what they were thinking about on my Deathrite before. They were thinking about just marching it. I kind of agree with their decision. You might as well let me play 3 things out and then get your big deluge. Yep. That'll be it, opponent. Ooh, the Birthing Ritual. Okay, we're going to calm down. Nobody panic. Ooh, another Bowmasters. That's great. Alright, we're going to flash this in end step, and then next turn we're going to play a 1-drop, play a Ritual, and then hopefully we start doing stupid things. I would love to see my opponent go Dark Ritual Juggernaut. It would just make me happy inside. Okay, yeah, you can get rid of my graveyard. It's fine. I really didn't need it. Let's go ahead and play out our stuff, the same order that we said. We can attack for 2, and then we start to do birthing ritual things. So hopefully we can see the deck going off. Marionette Apprentice. We don't need a Haywire Mite right now. We could buy it back with Luris, so let's go ahead and get our Marionette. Let's go as wide as possible here. So if another Toxic Deluge comes through, our opponent's going to lose a lot of life. And just passively, every turn, our opponent's going to lose 1 life per Marionette Apprentice that we have in play. Dark Ritual, okay. Juggernaut, Juggernaut, Juggernaut. Please do it. No, you were supposed to Dark Ritual a Juggernaut. It was going to be funny.
This famine cannot end.
Yeah, now they do March to probably take out my Marionette. Necrodom, let's go. Oh, Bowmasters is going to get a few pings here, to say the least. Did we even take out Soren? I think we just swords him next turn, right? Okay, you're going to draw 5? Okay, have fun, buddy. I know that they have this March to gain the life back, but you can't do that forever. You don't get infinite life gain. They are paying 1 off the Necrodom per card, and they're also taking 1 from the Bowmasters, and I have another Bowmasters in hand, so like they cannot gain life faster than they lose it, because this is a max of 2 life per card. That's assuming all the cards they draw are black. Yeah, that's fine. You can play the Bowmasters to Bowmaster me back, but oh, really? You're still taking a lot of damage, buddy. I like how Bowmaster is a verb now. So what I want to do here is I probably just Bowmasters their Bowmaster. Attack. Silly things on end step. We'll probably Swords the Soren as well, if we don't quite get them to 0 here. We attack with these other ones. I think we're just giving them a free point of lifelink. Oh, you know, I could have Swords the Soren first. Yeah, maybe that's what I was supposed to do. I think I was supposed to actually Sword Soren before combat, and then attack with these 2. It would have been net 1 more damage, technically. Let's go ahead and Ritual here. Ooh, Guide of Souls. That's a good one. Guide of Souls, Peddler. Oh, I can peddle them. Is that better than me having a Marionette or a Bowmaster in play? So if I, like, peddle their March, they can't gain life? Is that the play? I think it is, right? I peddle your March. Now you have no more life gain and you're locked out of drawing cards. Okay, yeah, you have a 1 ring, but I'm interested in taking this March because, like, you're out of life. You also don't have 1 ring mana, which is fun. So they can evoke a Grief. No, you're supposed to evoke a Grief, sack it to the tower, and then play their 1 ring opponent. Ah, whatever. I don't have my Marionette anymore for pings. Okay, they go to 3. I'm not sure if that was 100% correct to sack Marionette, though. Because now, like, I don't have my reach. We'll have to see. Oh, a Bowmasters. Okay, that's very good. That means I have lethal attackers if they don't have a Fatal Push, right? So Bowmaster your Bowmaster. Oh, they got like a not dead after all. Maybe I should have targeted the token. Oh, they have a March for a little bit of life. You got it. Got an attack. They will have to chump, of course. They're at 2 HP. They can play a 1 ring to give themselves some protection, but now we have a Deathrite Shaman that is threatening lethal. Oh, we have another Bowmasters that's going to hit the battlefield. That's not good for them. So now they go to 1. They cannot draw a card. They don't get their draw step per turn. They can take a 1 ring turn, but then this says lose life. Sweet. We beat mono black. It was a bit of like a long-winded path to victory each game, but that's kind of what this deck does. We also didn't get to truly flood the board at any point, but like our opponent is playing Toxic Deluge mono black control, so that's going to happen. But it just goes to show this deck was actually able to overpower that removal, which is kind of crazy. All right, we are going to be on the play against Riaver. And this seems like a okay opening hand. We could certainly mulligan to try and find something higher power, but I think we're just going to keep our Deathrite Shaman on the play hand. This is pretty medium as far as it goes, but we have a Once Upon a Time to fix our draw. And we could always get some Surveillance, put Laris into our hand. We can always take our time, and sometimes this deck is a time-taking deck. I guess we don't know what our opponent's playing, so I don't know what to mulligan to. Alright, we'll begin with a Once Upon a Time, and then instantly find either Marionette or Bowmasters. Bowmasters is the strongest individually while we don't have a sack outlet on board. So we'll go ahead and take that to start, and then we can just go ahead and shock in, play a Deathrite Shaman. The next turn we'll probably play the least obvious Flash Bowmasters of my life. And then follow it up with whatever creatures we draw. What we could do is we could both Surveil and Flash the Bowmasters. Ooh. Oh, well, no, I get a decision point. Okay. We could peddle our opponent a Juggernaut right now. Just get peddling. We also could flash out or just sorcery speed the Bowmasters, make sure it resolves. Because what a Tamiyo player really wants to do is draw cards. Dina does not have any utility, and it's just Peddler versus Bowmasters, and both are going to be sorcery speed plays. I am going to lean towards peddling my opponent a Juggernaut, because that's just another way to prevent them from drawing cards. Let's go ahead and take a Surveil here, and then we will use the fetch land in our graveyard to pay for our spell. We do not want another land. And let's get peddling. Alright, dear opponent, would you like a Juggernaut? Ooh, Mage. Okay, well, no card draw in hand is a good thing. They have a bunch of lands, they have a discharge for my shit, but who cares? No Fleech. Cool, so this is just Jeskai control with... Because I don't know if you guys saw Javier Dominguez's top 8 list, which was pretty cool. Just like Jeskai energy control. Some people were talking about building it for Arena. I assume that's that list with Tamiyo Brainstorm shoved in, because Brainstorm's busted. Why wouldn't you play Brainstorm when it's legal in the format? Tamiyo goes to Jesus, right? I don't think we let them untap with the card. I'm just thinking about what the timing would be. Is there a way to blow them out by swordsing in response to something? Could always swords at the beginning of their combat, but then they could counterspell it. So let's go ahead and make sure this resolves. Let's get Tamiyo off the board. Our opponent has 3 lands and a Juggernaut in hand. So we can keep the board clear here and keep them from getting more clues to draw cards. Alright, here I think we could just jam our Dina. And then Surveil. I'm thinking about maybe just putting Laris into my hand instead, because they could just have a mana tree. But we do know that they had 3 lands at some point. This is probably one of them. So they would only have 1 card that could maybe be a mana drain, so I don't think I have to play super scared of it. I really would hate to give them mana for free, though. Okay. Sweet. So we have Dina as a sack outlet. Sack outlet could be like randomly useful against another Flage or, you know, a Lightning Helix style card that gains them life. Yeah, draw a card, opponent, please. I welcome you. I don't want to sack my token in response, right? Yeah, all that this does is buff its own power. What's something fun with like Bowmaster tokens, doesn't come up too much, but when you have a sack outlet on the board, you can just sack the 1/1 before you get the amass trigger, and then you get a new 1/1 to sack later. Be relevant on some boards. Yeah, Juggernaut! This is not one of them. Juggernaut hits play. Oh, we could peddle them another. They could have another. We could give them another. Yeah, let's give them another. We're just gonna let this Juggernaut attack us, by the way. We can't quite attack into it yet, but it has to attack. Oh. You could have another. This is so stupid. Actually, let me just like redo my math. If I attack everything into Juggernaut, they can block this at most, and then they would take... Oh, they would actually take a lot of damage. Yeah, let's attack with everything. Sacrifice the Dina, they go to 1. Or sacrifice Bowmaster's 2 Dina. Oh, I had lethal, I'm an idiot. This stick, because I was yapping. I could have sacrificed the Peddler as well to Dina. But they have no cards in hand, it's fine. We win when we untap. That was funny, I missed lethal. Oops. Happens to the best of us, right? Alright, opponent, go to combat. You must attack. Are we gonna lose this game because we missed lethal? I hope to God not. Okay. And... Okay, sweet. If they casted an energy board wipe there, I would be a little mad. Okay, against Control Andy, we probably want the Thought Seizes, I would say. Maybe over the Static Prisons. And, like, don't overboard against them, honestly. Like, I think I'm going to keep the rest of the deck together. This is really good against Flayage. Actually, we could just do Hearst instead against Flays. That's technically a threat for the late game. And then we run it back like this. Does Haywire might do anything against them? Are they going to play a ring? Probably not. We can play another Thoughtseize over this card. Okay. One land, but the once upon a time we'll find a second, surely. And I like, listen, I see triple Guided I can't mulligan. It's just like it's in my brain right now that this card is busted. You can't turn down triple guide. You can't do it. It's against the rules. Yep, we'll take the Godless Shrine for the express purpose of casting Guide of Souls. And then we will get sternly scolded and told not to do that. Okay, cool. Are we just gonna try to resolve all 3 Guided Souls? Just jam, jam, jam? Or probably have a Stifle. I'd be mad about that. I've never played around Stifle in my life, by the way. And I'll die on that hill. Just jamming? We jamming on this day, or are we jamming double death right? And then we super jam next turn. Actually, I think I'm down for double death right. Which, it just lets us have so much more mana next turn. This does die really badly to like our opponent having tuned the narrative into that energy board wipe, but just about any sequence of plays we could make does that, except Juggernaut Peddler, and I think that's too slow against other lines, against them having just some single target removal. That's definitely a decision point, though. Yeah, if they tune the narrative into energy board wipe, I'm going to be kind of mad about it, because I did see it coming, and I did say, no, Juggernaut Peddler is too slow. Oh, they don't have double white, so it's fine. So now we can say, hey, opponent, would you, my lucky winner, like a Juggernaut? But first, let me take a selfie, and then play double Guide of Souls. I think it's, like, very unlikely they have 2 board wipes, so I'm not going to play around it. We're going to absolutely flood the board. We're going to make a stupid amount of energy. Alright, would you like a Juggernaut again? Hey, look at that! They did have the energy board wipe. Look at me being a luck sack. I'm gonna go ahead and pay. Do I pay? I have so much energy, right? I might as well make them do it. Like, they're gonna bolt it, duh. What? Bro, your bolt? I'm not paying again, though, because then they just galvanic discharge it. Bro, your bolt. Fine, they could just discharge it for 4. They do have a lot of single target removal, and they can like kind of clean up my board, but we will have resolved Deathrite Shamans in play, and it's hard to imagine losing against Control Andy at that point. No lands in play. Oh, no, one land in the graveyard for my Deathrites. Oof, there go my Deathrites. We are going to want to get that Flage out of here. Hopefully they do shoot my Deathrite, dang it. I was saying hopefully they don't. They do decide to shoot it. The upside here, though, is that we can get 2 Guide of Souls attack triggers here. Oh, no. Okay. I'm not fucking around. I'm getting rid of that Flage. That's a win condition for them. And what's a little annoying here is that I'm gonna hold full control here so I can respond to my own triggers by flashing in a Orcish Bowmasters, by the way. I'm gonna try to put counters on my Peddler. This is gonna get shot by a removal spell, I'm pretty sure. Yep, then they do that because they know that I don't have more energy to pay to put more counters on things, but I have an ace up my sleeve where I can now flash in a Bowmasters and then I will have more energy to pay. So let's go ahead and get this black mana. I could be out of full control by now. I just need to respond to my own trigger here to flash in the Bowmasters. So now I have more energy. With the more energy, I can pay again for the other Guide of Souls trigger and do a little bit more damage. Cool. And now we still have our active Deathrite Shaman, and our opponent has to make the choice. Do I take out the Guide of Souls or do I take out the Deathrite Shaman? And I think no matter what, we get to keep our Bowmasters, which is cool.
Curious. I must investigate this rule further.
So this turn we want to be attacking. We're going to want to flash in an extra Bowmasters, and we're going to activate our Deathrite Shaman for a reach. Let's go ahead and attack with everything. They have double removal spell here, so they do get to shoot all of my stuff if they want. Ooh, they should have done that before combat. Because they really want to remove one of these 3 creatures, so I'm going to be happy to just put a counter here. And if you want to like shoot that with the Galvanic Discharge, be my guest. I have more important creatures in play. They will. Okay. Sure. Probably should use Discharge Up Bolt, just because they would have netted some energy there. Right. I could have done the same thing where I flashed this in, but they do have another removal spell here. It's a little bit less point to the trick. We could always try to catch them casting a draw spell here. They may very much untap and try to draw some cards. Nice Juggernaut opponent. I love a Juggernaut Peddler. Let's flash this boy in now before they make the clue and get a chance to crack it. Okay, that'll get a tilt concession out. Alright, awesome. That was a good showing against Control. Alright, those were some pretty like long grindy games, so I think we're gonna lop off the video at just 2 games. Because we're getting close to an hour runtime, even at just 2. But I do want to talk about the deck a little bit more. We didn't get like a hard creature mirror, because I did want to show like how well this can kind of just gum up the board against another Guide of Souls deck and really just make the game take forever until Birthing Ritual eventually takes it over. But we saw against the mono black deck that Birthing Ritual can just keep digging through your deck. It can find the 2-for-1 creatures like Orcish Bowmasters, Marionette Apprentice that bring a token with them. It can find something like Juggernaut Peddler or Voice of Resurgence where it's just one creature, but this gets me value when it enters the battlefield, then I can sack it. This gives me a token when I can sack it. Maybe this card's dog shit and shouldn't be in the deck. But hey, we had some fun today. We also missed a lethal with Dina, which was, of course, a joy to catch on camera. And I really love this deck is because it's just full of objectively powerful cards, except maybe this one. And it grinds on a different level. We also didn't cast a Nightmare all day today, but this deck is sweet. I hope other people pick it up, like, and see how crazy the creature mirrors can really get with this deck and how it can just churn and churn and churn and go through it and go through it and go through it. I hope like somebody else picks it up and like really tries to tweak it because I'm one person. This is my approach on it. Like I said before, I got it from a guy named Americanized on Ladder. I don't have his contact info. And they were playing like Nethergoyf, Tarmogoyf as well, and they were just had some big stupid goyfs attacking and blocking. But I said, hey, maybe not. Maybe we could play some ETB creatures like Peddler and just max out on Marionette Apprentices and play Nightmare too, and then we play like this ridiculously grindy Marionette Apprentice deck. Oh, and I'm happy I found a home for Juggernaut Peddler. This card's so damn fun. I love casting it against our opponents. So for anybody who wants to pick up this deck, definitely think about what creatures could be in the creature suite. Maybe there's something I missed. Maybe there's a creature sack outlet that's good and Lurrus compatible. I looked at them. I wasn't like super interested in most of them. But if there is like a creature sack outlet that is comparable in power level to Chthonian Nightmare that could take this slot, I would be interested because you can Birthing Ritual into the card. If there's also another way to tutor the Birthing Ritual really well, I would be interested in it. I think there's like Malevolent Rumble is the only one I could think of. But I don't want to dilute my Birthing Ritual deck with more non-creatures when we're already playing Once Upon a Time and playing Interaction and playing Chthonian Nightmare. This is about as few creatures as you can have in this sort of a deck. I really wouldn't be interested in cutting too many more. Is there a creature that lets you search for an enchantment when it enters? Not really, right? No. Not like Lurrus compatible, of course. You know, there's something like this. But we would have to drop the Lurrus. I think the Lurrus is pretty valuable here. I'm thinking maybe it's not. Did we cast Lurrus today? I can barely remember my own games. I think we put it into our hand, but we didn't cast it. But I do love Nightmare plus Lurrus together because you can rebuy your Lurrus, which I think is very, very valuable. Oh yeah, we got our Lurrus griefed against the black deck, so it was relevant. Yeah, that's more or less my closing thoughts. Also, the mana is a little ugly. I don't know if I could fix it. And also the other consideration for this deck is a Johnny. Because this, again, it fits the bill of absent colors. Creature comes to the battlefield, makes a token that we can sacrifice. And when we sacrifice the token, something good happens. This is objectively very powerful, but we don't have a red permanent to like truly make him insane. Like without the red permanent, he is just an okay card. He is probably worse than Bowmasters because Bowmasters has like passive hate bear text. He's probably also worse than Marionette Apprentice because Marionette Apprentice helps us advance our game plan. Might be better than Voice, I'll give you that. Okay, if you want to cut the Voice for the Johnny, do it. But you would want to maybe play Goblin Bombardment in red as a sack outlet, and then maybe there's some stupid red creature that's really good in this deck. I couldn't think of one off at the top of my head, but Amped Raptor is a classic. Certified classic. Unfortunately, Amped Raptor does not get to cast things for free when you put it into play off of Birthing Ritual, but then while you're in red, maybe you can play the Unstable Amulet and then have that little energy package, another red permanent for Johnny, and oops, we just built the energy deck again. So maybe you could rebuild this in like Naya colors without these 3 cards. Oh, then you lose Peddler too. You lose like half the deck. I'd love to see other people toy with this because it feels like there's a lot of directions that you can take the deck, but all of them really have downsides. Maybe I'll try to rebuild this deck with the Johnny and red permanents. I'll think about it. Birthing Ritual is just like really impressed me. With any sort of card that's similar to Apprentice or Bowmasters that makes a token. Like I think it's sweet. the density of powerful 1s and 2s in Timeless is definitely like high enough to make Birthing Ritual an awesome like value play when you're sacking a token to search for one of these high power 1s and 2s. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope other people pick up this deck. This is sweet. I don't think this is meta today, but I think that there's really something here with Birthing Ritual and Marionette Apprentice, and these are both very underplayed cards in the format right now. Thanks for watching, folks.